Welcome to our eLabFTW release video. In this video, we will show you the newest features introduced in version 5.2. Let's get started. The top navigation bar has been redesigned. Previously, clicking on the eLabFTW logo would take you to the dashboard. Now, there is a dedicated home icon next to the logo that also leads directly to the dashboard. Next, let's explore the Experiments page. The search bar now searches exclusively within the Experiments section. Clicking on the question mark button next to the search bar opens a helper that explains the search syntax. On the right side, a new button expands additional filtering options. You can now filter by state and even view deleted entries by selecting Deleted. Another feature that already existed but was not previously covered in our video series is bulk actions. Selecting multiple entries allows you to perform actions such as exporting in different formats, adding tags, and many other things. The Scope button has received a visual update but remains in the same place next to the button used to switch between layout options. When opening an experiment entry, we can see that several updates have been made in this new version. The text editor now includes a preview button. This allows you to check the text formatting without leaving edit mode. Additionally, extra fields can now be edited after the creation of an entry, and the field type is now displayed for each extra field. Further down, you will notice the new Containers and Compounds sections. We will show you how to use these new features. Note that we will later explore the dedicated Compounds page for more management options. You may also notice that the molecule editor is no longer present in the experiment entry page. This is because it now has its own dedicated page, which we will also review later. Now let's consider the newly added Templates page. The Template Management section now has its own tab next to Experiments. The interface remains mostly unchanged, so template management should feel familiar. This new button, which has a document and a plus sign, allows you to directly create an experiment from a template without additional steps. Note that this button is currently only visible in list view and not in table view. It's now possible to define read and write permissions inside a template and mark them as immutable. Once marked as immutable, these permissions can't be changed later. So be sure to review permissions carefully before saving. There are no major changes specific to resources. However, improvements introduced in the Experiment section also apply to resources. The Scheduler now has its own dedicated tab and is no longer located in the Team section. In addition to the redesigned Scope button, there are two new settings. First, you can choose whether to display weekends in your scheduler. Second, you can switch the layout to a timeline view, like this. You can also filter events by owner. This helps to better understand who booked what, giving you a clearer overview of all reservations. Nothing new has been added to the Team section, so let's dive right into the brand new Tools section. Several new tools and integrations have been added. Let's begin with the new Compounds module. To access the Compounds module, go to the top bar, click on Tools, and select Compounds from the drop-down menu. This module lets you manage chemical compounds efficiently. You can import compound data directly from PubChem using CAS numbers or CIDs. Just click Import from PubChem, enter the identifier, and preview the data before importing. After importing, the compound appears in your list, and you can double-click to edit its details. Only the name is mandatory. Other fields like molecular formula and weight are optional. You can also define safety information, such as health hazards, controlled substance status, or whether the compound is a nanomaterial. Once the compound is created, you can link it to a resource. If you're working with a mixture, you can link a resource to multiple compounds. If you're dealing with a novel substance not found in PubChem, you can add it manually. Just be aware that manually added compounds are visible to all users on your instance of eLabFTW. Next, The chemical structure editor has been moved to a dedicated page. With it, you can draw molecules and even perform substructure searches to find similar compounds. Just note, for substructure searches to work, your system must have the fingerprinting service enabled, and compounds need a valid SMILES string. This tool allows you to draw and save chemical structures in various file formats. Once you've drawn a molecule, you can export it and link it directly to experiments, templates, and resources. This new version of eLabFTW features Open Cloning, a powerful open-source tool developed by Manuel Lara Ramirez. It helps you design and document cloning workflows, including methods like Gibson and Golden Gate. You can import sequences from AddGene or NCBI, or load your own files, and it connects seamlessly with your eLabFTW resources. This integration will be covered in a separate video to give you a more detailed look. Next, let's take a look at the inventory module, which can be really helpful for organizing research materials in the lab. You can use the inventory tool to map out your physical storage. You can specify custom locations, such as rooms, cabinets, and fridges, and even list locations inside other locations, such as shelves and boxes. Once set up, you can assign resources like chemicals or samples to specific locations. This makes it super easy to keep track of where things are stored. You can also search by location to quickly find what you are looking for. The inventory tool is fully connected with the resources and experiments, so everything stays nicely linked. If you need to track special conditions, like temperature or safety information, you can add custom fields to each location. Let's wrap things up by looking at how compounds and the inventory tool can be linked to a resource. Just open any resource and scroll down past the main text section. There, you'll find the Compounds field. Simply start typing the name of the compound you want to link. Select it from the suggestions and click Add. The compound is now linked. Now let's also link this resource to a physical storage location. Click on the Containers button. This opens a small window. Here, you can define the container size and unit, such as 250 milliliters or 5 grams, the number of containers you have in stock, and finally, you can select a storage location from your inventory. Just keep in mind, the location must already exist in your inventory, otherwise it won't show up here. And that brings us to the end of our tour through the new features of eLabFTW version 5.2. Here is a summary of the most important new features. If you want to review this list, you can pause the video now. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us or leave a comment. See you next time.